Hello everyone, I have a few things I want to say about Egypt, uh, but before I do, let me get a few things out of the way. I'm not Egyptian, haven't been to Egypt, I don't have any Egyptian friends, and I wasn't part of the Egyptian uprising. But I still care, and I care because power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And it's fair to say that the Mubarak regime had absolute power, and therefore it's safe to assume that there was very high levels of corruption within the country. But I don't think that's even the worst thing. Personally, I wouldn't want to live under an oppressive rule, and I wouldn't want any other fellow human to live under an oppressive rule where ideas and communication was impeded in any way. So the regime has shown incompetence throughout this crisis. One instance where this shows particularly well is when Mubarak was giving his third and final speech as president of Egypt the night before he resigned. Um, Basically assuming that the speech that Mubarak gave to his people was a three-step process of writing, approving, and delivering, then all three steps failed. There wasn't within the Mubarak regime. There was nobody who said, "Hold on a sec, this speech is terrible. This is going to antagonize our people and undermine our regime even further." So there was deep signs of incompetence throughout, and that's just one example. But on the subject of incompetence, I think the U.S. ambassador to Egypt, Frank Wisner, was also incompetent to suggest that a corrupt, oppressive person like Mubarak could in any way transfer power to another regime that was more democratic. That's just absurd, and it serves to undermine Frank Wisner and his career. Uh, I'm very happy for the Egyptian people. I think they're close to reducing and eliminating the injustice that's been done to them over many years with an accountable government. I think human rights will be respected more as a result of the overthrowing of the government, and freedom of speech will be strengthened. I know that there was freedom of speech in Egypt before, but it will definitely be stronger now. Also, it's got to be said, I admire the Egyptian people, their persistence, their will, their resolve, their determination, despite so many challenges that was thrown at them. So well done to them. I admire you and I respect you. On a slightly different note, I think Israel shouldn't miss the chance to make something positive out of this, and they should be encouraging for other regimes, autocratic, dictatorial regimes, to fall. Because in the short term it might be a bit of a risky strategy, but in the longer term they will be supporting the people of the region, and this is always good. Also, I want to thank Al Jazeera for their fantastic coverage. I was taking in anything they had and more. It was very well done, and thank you very much, Al Jazeera. And one final thing, I want to address something that the international media reached a consensus on, which is that the Western politicians and governments reacted slowly to the crisis, and they were always lagging behind in developments. And I think that this was a good thing, and it showed the reservation and discipline that Western diplomats have. It was their slowness to react to the situation only served to highlight how much of a people movement this was. And I'm glad that nobody undermined the underlying truth, which is that this was a people movement and not an international intervention of any kind.